So just after a quick test, she's going to grab some water just for my talk. If I do talk a lot, and I will have to talk a lot today to use. Just going to grab some water, be right back with you, and we will just kickstart these webinar. Perfect. Hello, everybody. My name is Juanma. I work for Green Life Tours, the company that englobes Francigena Ways, CaminoWays, Ireland Ways, and TrekkingBook.com. And today I am here to talk to you and talk you through a little bit of our walks in Italy, the most popular routes, a little bit of everything that is involved. So I'm here with my team, with Lisa, and with the rest of the sales team, just to help you understand a little bit, give you a bit more visibility of our routes in this beautiful country that I absolutely love. Being a Spanish man and having been there for my last 7 years on holidays, I can only have words of praise, and I'll try to bring that passion and the love I feel for this country onto you today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Any of my colleagues can just reply to them, and it will also be of help to everybody that is attending. They don't just have to see my face or the presentation. They can also look at very, very good questions from you and the answers that we will provide. So to kick started, we're going to introduce to our team, the Green Life Tours team. For anyone who hasn't logged into any of our webinars before or who hasn't been in touch with us before, this is our team in Dublin. We're based in Ireland, but we have people from all over the world, really. We have people from Italy, from Spain, from Ireland, from Ecuador, and really, when you walk out there and when you're in the floor, you can hear so many languages and so many different foods are smelled every single day in the microwave that it makes it a very, very fun experience. It also makes us able to help you while en route, and it's one of the strongest points really of the company and the services we provide. We have native speakers in pretty much every walk you take, so you will always have a native speaker on hand to help you with any queries you have. As you can tell, as I have said before, we are the Francigena Ways, the one that englobes most of the walks that we're going to talk about today, is under the umbrella of Green Life Tours, which also offers CaminoWays, Ireland Ways, and our most adventurous brand, TrekkingBook.com. Summary of what we're going to do today. So basically, we're just going to give you a little bit of information about all the routes, the most popular ones, what we offer and what we can do for you in those routes, an overview of Tuscany, of the Cinque Terre, of the St.Francis Way, and the section from Viterbo to Rome, which just has proved to be the the most popular walks for one reason or the other. So we will also tell you about why they are and which one could suit you better if you should you be deciding to take one of these walks. Also, the distances and the split days, the festivals that take place in these areas, the markings that you will find in the Via Francigena, the accommodation, and when to go and book. So we will touch each one of those in detail. So let's kickstart with what we offer. With the self-guided and guided walking tours, and also self-guided cycling tours. For those of you who are attempting to go with very little knowledge of cycling or repairs or anything like that and just are relying on somebody else along the route to fix it for you, it's not going to be your lucky day. This is not the Camino. It's a little bit less populated. You could say that you could need to be a very self-sufficient cyclist if you attempt to cycle any of these routes. And for the Cinque Terre and the St.Francis Way, attempting to cycle it, it's a bit of a suicide mission. So the Via Francigena, it's really, really well marked. It has paths that have been developed right next to it that are more appropriate for cyclists, and it's really, really and truly well marked. So if you are looking at this one, it's probably a really, really good option to go if you're looking for a cycle. We provide accommodation as well in hotels, so you will always have your private and suite accommodation. If it's single, or you want to share, or you went with your partner or with a friend, we have accommodation to suit your needs. We can book half board or bed and breakfast only, so we can arrange the dinners. And really, once you get to the town, the last thing you probably want to do is go around looking for restaurants. We select all of our accommodation also in the basis of they having good dinners and good breakfast, hefty breakfast, and we look after that just so that you don't have to go looking for restaurants. Once you get there, you want to do hot shower, nice clean bed, and a nice dinner. We also organize the luggage transfer, that meaning that you don't have to carry the luggage with you every day, but instead you just leave it at the reception of your hotel in the morning, and it will travel just before you, and you will be able to meet your luggage when you get to the destination for that day. We also provide you with walking notes and maps to help you navigate the route. As I said, the Via Francigena, it's really extremely well marked. It is really, really hard to get lost in it. It has been really, really well remarked in the past number of years when it became more and more popular. St. Francis Way, it will be a bit more difficult. It's a bit less developed trail, but still, with the walking notes, we're sure that you will find your way. But it's a truly, truly a spectacular walk. For the Cinque Terre, it's hiker's paradise. So you will find so many routes, so many different markings, that it will take you only a couple of minutes to get familiarized with it. The maps are so good that it is really your playground. Go out there, choose your route. If you feel like it's a bit too crowded or it's a bit too unpopulated, you can just choose your route, rework on it as you're walking along. It's just a different one, so it's a truly, truly special one. For the route, as you can see, the most popular are the Via Francigena, the very, very long pink line that you can see stretching all the way from Canterbury to Rome. It is a trip taken by Cedric the Serious when he decided to go and claim more rights for his bishopric in Canterbury. He went and wrote about everything that he saw when he was going towards Rome. And when he came back, well, the first guidebook for the Via Francigena was born. Many, many pilgrims have been taken to it over thousands of years, and like most of them would be walking just 1 or 2 sections every year, or going for 2-3 weeks if they're going on a longer one. It could take around 3 months to complete in full. So for those of you with time in their hands, obviously, it is a truly spectacular experience. But today, we're only going to talk about the sections in Italy, really, and the most popular of them. The little sky blue line that you can see to the right, the St. Francis Way, it's a route pretty much on all the life and miracles of St. Francis of Assisi. It will visit the most popular times and the most popular places about his story. So it'll visit San Sepolcro, Assisi, or Rieti, between many of them, and many other towns such as Poggio, Bustone, and loads of others that have loads of history embedded into it, that have loads of stories related to St. Francis of Assisi. And it is a much more challenging route, if so, than the Via Francigena. It's not that well developed, but the views that you're going to get of all the Lazio and the Tuscan section of it, starting from Florence, are going to be true. They're going to really, really reward you for your efforts. Many of you might ask, why walk in Italy? Well, the question really, it's pretty obvious. It is a pretty weather-friendly country, very, very friendly people, and the rolling countryside that you will find in some of them makes it almost perfect for every kind of fitness level. The fortified walls that will surround all the towns in the hilltops will really offer you stunning arrivals and departures. So once you're leaving or entering the city, you'll have really picture-prone towns. Were there defensively, but nowadays they look also stunning. There's a lot of history in it, so for you history lovers, this is the birthplace of the Roman Empire. They have been fighting for many, many centuries. They have fortified their towns. They have built impressive towers, as in San Gimignano, to look out for enemies and to look out for allies. So they look absolutely stunning, and it's all just down to history. And once you start digging a little bit of on the history of the town, they become really, really spectacular places. Also, the vineyards and the woodlands that you will find along the route make for very, very special countryside, and some countryside that really you can find in many, many places in the world. So all this Mediterranean region, it's really picture prone, it's very, very picturesque, and they provide really, really beautiful walks. Obviously, it's Italy. We have to talk about the food. We have to talk about the pizza, the pasta, the bruschettas, and the wine, obviously. Here, Tuscany is the Chianti region, but not only that, you will find Vernaccia, you will find so many different types of grapes, and you will walk through so many different types of grapes that you could be almost a sinner if you didn't try a little sip. The first walk that we're going to talk about is a walk in Tuscany. It's one of the talks that I've done myself last October. It generally starts in Lucca and goes all the way down to Siena. You can complete it in 6 walking days, or you could add a split day in San Gimignano, which I strongly recommend. It is one of those special places that you can really not miss in your life, and you want to spend there as much time as possible. My recommendation, if you're not stopping there overnight, at least make a bit of research and know those key points where to visit and where you can enter and the places to see, because you truly will not be disappointed. A lot of research goes a long, long way into this trip. All the towns that you're going to pass by are absolutely stunning. They are really, really beautiful gems, and they really are not to be missed. It is the most popular walk in the Via Francigena, and the town that I was talking about, San Gimignano, is the town of the 13 towers. There used to be more than 70 in the town, so it makes for a really, really beautiful landscape as you're approaching it, and as you're into it, you cannot help but looking up to the towers and seeing the magnificent structures and the architectures that these families put together, just to indicate the amount of power that they had, and just to get a better view over the horizon and over the other families. Now, at some stage, it just got too crazy. They just said, there's too many towers here, so nobody can build a tower higher than the town hall. The town hall is going to be the biggest, and that's the way it remained for many, many years. Many of them fell into disrepair, but you can still visit some of them, which is a really recommended visit, and you can just choose which one to go for once you're there. It is part of the split option. So if you're walking from Lucca to Siena in just 7 days, you will only pass it on your way to Colle di Valdelsa. But if you decide to stop, you will be rewarded with a really, really nice and really, really beautiful evening. I have to say, it is really, really beautiful at dark when most of the tourists just go away, and you are just left with this really beautiful hilltop town with walls all around it, and it's just a little bit of your playground. Finally, you will end up in one of my favorite cities in Italy, Siena. It's absolutely stunning. It has probably the longest high street I have seen in my life. After walking 24 kilometers, that last kilometer of stretch is a killer on your feet, but you will be rewarded with very, very nice views of the Piazza del Campo, that you can see here on your left, and the Piazza del Duomo, that you can see on your right. The architecture is what you can imagine of every stunning, beautiful Italian medieval town. The red brick, the black and white towers of the Capuchins, the archways, the little alleys, the cobbled streets, the big piazzas to go people watch. It is absolutely stunning. So it is a really, really great way to end. Even if you're not planning to finish in Rome and you're looking for a 7-day walk, look at the Siena. It provides also a really, really special ending point to your trip. You can fly into Florence, you can fly into Pisa, or you can fly into Rome for this particular section. So it's a very, very accessible route, and it also gives you the chance to go to many well-known cities in Italy and really, really beautiful ones like the ones I mentioned before. You can also try Bologna for a smaller airport, but it's still about 150 kilometers, so it is still feasible if you find cheaper flights. The next section we're going to talk about is Viterbo to Rome. It is the second most popular route in the Via Francigena. It obviously has the added point of finishing in Rome, and it starts in the beautiful town of Viterbo, which is really not to be missed. It goes through Sutri, which has a really, really beautiful amphitheater, and once you approach Rome in this walk, you will see it from Monte Mario, which is a really, really stunning view of Rome. One that you don't get in many, many places, such as Santa Maria del Trastevere, that have a really nice view, but Monte Mario has to be, after a long walk, it really has to feel that little bit extra special and a little bit nicer than just going and sightseeing it if you're doing it for a couple of days or for 3 days and just going there for the day. I think also it has the added value of being able to claim your testimonium. Officially, if you want to claim it from St. Peter's Basilica, you must walk 140 kilometers. But if you complete 100 from Viterbo, you can claim it from the pilgrimages office in the Vatican City. So you still have something to take home. Myself, I have only completed the Look at the Siena walk, so I didn't get to claim any testimonium, but I have a really, really beautiful pilgrim passport to show for, which we will go over in more detail later in the presentation. The third of the walks, the St. Francis Way, and the most popular route in it is the stretch from Rieti to Rome. Now, most of these towns that you see, like Poggio San Lorenzo, Ponticelli, Montelivreti, they will not appear in the books of Visit Italy. They will not be in the Italian Tourism Board's leaflet. They are really, really small, but they are really, really charming. They are really off the beaten track. It is a tough walk, so that's probably one of the reasons why you won't find many people along this route either. But if you are prepared and you like hiking, you're into hill walking and into long walking and into many days walking, it is a truly, truly stunning walk. It takes you over the mountains of the Lazio and over the plains of the Lazio. And it is really an unsung territory in Italy. You probably heard a lot about Tuscany. You probably heard a lot about Sicily, Sardinia. But really the Apennines and the Lazio Flats and the walk into Rome are really, really beautiful and really off the beaten track. So if you're looking for more of a peace and quiet, not so much into the tourist territory, is probably a really, really good walk for you. The highlights, as I said, are these beautiful, beautiful towns that you will pass by. The landscape is really, really beautiful. All the different walks that you will go through are really, really exposed, really, really nice views all the way through. And obviously, finishing in Rome, you can also claim your testimonium, and you can enjoy the nightlife, the culture, and all the different food and wine that can be enjoyed in Rome. Finally, for the last one, the Cinque Terre. It is a really, really special walk, and the highlight of it, it's a bit of a different type of holiday. So you will be based on just one hotel in Rio Maggiore. From there, you can start pretty much your walks every day and take it day by day. If you feel tired, if you ever feel like, look, it's not worth taking the walk today, I'm too tired, you can just enjoy a day by one of these beautiful seaside towns. You will walk onto truly, truly stunning places, and you can just choose whichever one you like the most. It is very, very well connected by train. I have also walked these routes, and I have to say, when I got there and saw that stops were like 1 minute from the other, it kind of puzzled me a little bit. But they are it's a really, really straightforward train to take. It's very, very easy to purchase the tickets there and then. So you will follow very, very historic mule trails up in the mountains. There's the Via dell'Amore and some other paths that have been really dug into the stone and carved, especially for walkers and for hikers. But the mule tracks provide, to me, the most beautiful walks, from where you can see all these little towns from afar, and as you're approaching them, you get to discover a little bit more and see a little bit more of these beautiful landscapes. The coastline, it's absolutely spectacular. Some of the towns will keep you wondering how some of the houses are still hanging to the cliff. You will find world-class cuisine in most of the places, and you can chill out and relax in the small beaches and calas that you will find in some of these towns. Vernazza's one is particularly beautiful, and it's the kind of towns that you really find on a National Geographic leaflet or a magazine or a post on Facebook. They really do not disappoint, any of them. Vernazza, Manarola, Corniglia, they're all these towns that you see in tourism and in ads, and they are that pretty. Once you get into them, you see all the little alleyways and all the small streets that just go into the marina, and they go into the beaches, and they are treacherously close to the water, and they really, really provide a really, really beautiful stopping points, say for lunches. If you want to just go for dinner and take the train to the following town, it is a really, really beautiful walk as well. If you have any questions on Topness or on the different trails that you can take, you can ask in more detail to one of our representatives, or just send us a quick email and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's it for most of the routes. We're going to go a little bit again onto what we do and the different ways in which you can walk the route. After a sip of water. So for 2017, we have 2 guided tours. The first of them on the 27th of May, actually leaving really, really soon. That one is closed, and it's going to be hopefully a very, very successful one, sun-drenched. And the one in September 16th, and this will be on the Lucca to Siena section of the Via Francigena. It is really, really beautiful, and also going with the guide gives you that extra advantage of just getting the local knowledge and just getting that knowledge that is not really in the guidebooks. Going with a local person also opens you a lot more doors. Going to places that you might not know and they will be familiar with, they will give you that extra edge to your experience. For this particular route, we do the easy walk, starting in San Miniato, with 5 walking days and 6 nights, and also including the night in San Gimignano. So you will have the chance to stay in this beautiful city. It's quite a relaxed walk. It's nothing too strenuous. It will give you more the feel of a holiday than a challenge. So if you're looking for something like that, it might be just the holiday you're looking for. Most of you will ask, and it's one of the questions we get all the time, walking or cycling. You have chosen your route, and you think, oh, this looks really, really nice, and I want to see a little bit more, or I don't mind walking, I want to explore in depth. What are the differences between it? Well, cycling, obviously you will be able to see more ground, but also you will be able to see a bit less detail, because you will have to focus on handling the bike. Obviously they are not roads, they're trails, so you need to be careful, and you need to mind where you're cycling through, and mind your own handling of the bike. You need to be a little bit experienced. You need to be self-sufficient. There's going to be no bike repair shops or pretty much anybody to help you once you need it. So you need to be able to repair a puncture, to adjust a brake, to adjust gears as you're walking through. So if you're not very experienced, just go for the walking. You will see less. You will experience more of what you're walking through, but still will make for a much more enjoyable experience. The terrain, it can be quite difficult to pass if it has been raining, even for walkers. So for cyclists, it's going to be that extra bit harder. If you're looking to cycling, and if you're not too confident with it, we can still give you the bike rental and provide the walking distances, much shorter. And if you feel like you cannot complete the walking distances, this formula might work for you as well. As I said, there's many ways in which we can tailor your trip, and in which we can shorten some of the distances. We can even provide transfers into a point halfway into the trail if you feel the distance is too long. So we can also do that for you if you prefer to walk, but are a bit too skeptical about the distances and the long distances that you have to walk some of the days. So we hopefully that clears a bit your mind about your choice of whether to walk or to cycle. Also, there's festivals in these routes, especially in the Lucca to Siena one. You have the famous Palio of Siena in July 2nd and August 16th. For this one, I have to warn you, we cannot book accommodation in Siena, so feel free to book your accommodation there for those dates. It is just extremely busy. You will see why if you do get to experience it. It's probably one of the greatest parties in Italy. It's a horse race that has been embedded into history and into the history of Siena for many years. It's a really significant part in the life of the city today, as it was centuries ago, and visitors can go for free to the center of the Piazza del Campo to watch the horse race. Now, every little borough, every little contrada in the city just fight for supremacy, and there's loads of history and loads of tricksters behind these races. There's a lot of gambling, as there is with any horse race, and the Italians like a bit of money on the side, so one or two jockeys might decide to just stick for the money they have and the ones they can offer, and maybe not go for the win at all. I know that here you're watching, so excuse me for that, but you have a pretty bad reputation. Then in San Gimignano, you have the Feria delle Messi and the Giostra dei Bastoni in the 3rd Saturday and Sunday of June every year. It is a really beautiful walk. It's a really beautiful festival. So if you happen to be there, it is well worth going. And if you want more information on it, you can simply request it from us. And finally, the Sesame Valley in Monteriggioni, it really exaltates the best of Monteriggioni. Once you get there, you'll see it's really tiny town. It's really small, but it's all walls. You can walk all around the walls, so you're really well preserved. So once you get there in the Festa Medievale, everybody's dressed up. There's markets, There's music, there's medieval music, medieval performances, and it really will transport you back in time to the 1500s and the 1400s when Monteriggioni was really in its prime. Finally, in Lucca, there's the Festa dell'Esaltazione della Santa Croce. All the modern lighting is bands, so everything is decorated with small candles. So really, that side in September 13th is one to watch out for. So if you happen to be there in Lucca, which is a really beautiful town on itself, on the night of September 13th, you will surely finish pretty much your memory card, because you have so many pictures to take that it's gonna really take your breath away and take your memory card away. And if you need more reasons to visit Italy, just look at the next slide. No words needed for this one. They are famous for something, and they do it well. The gelato, the chocolate, all the nice and fresh food that you will find all along the route. They will provide you with some of the finest dining and eating experiences that you will have in your life. As a Spanish man myself, we're very proud with our cuisine, but I have to say, if I have to swap my cuisine for theirs, I'll probably take a little bit of thinking. All the pizza, the pasta, the rucola, all the acciughe, everything they have, it's fresh. They take really good pride in their cuisine, and once you get there, it really shows. Finally, we're going to go through a little bit more detail of the route, and one of them is the markings for it. As you can see, there's many different markings, but the most popular, the ones that you will see the most, are the ones that you will see in the pictures. The white and red markings that you will see for the grand routes in most European trails will be present. Markings for the Via Francigena will also be there, and the official ones for the Camino di San Francesco, the Via Francigena, will also be there, very well marked. So I have to say, when I went there to Lucca to Siena, and when we were driving Viterbo to Rome, it was really hard to get lost. It was extremely well marked. We barely needed the notes, and we really only used them to make sure that they were accurate and they were correct, but they really, hand in heart, they were not needed. If you are a cyclist, you will find the Cyclo Francigena markings, which is slightly different. It's white and sky blue. So for those paths with stairs, with rocky patches, muddy patches, they will divert you away from the Via Francigena route. So it will make for a nicer experience if you're cycling. It's much appreciated if you're on the bike and you don't have to negotiate with dodgy terrain or anything that could put you off the bike and just make that experience all not enjoyable. So it's also better just to avoid pushing your bike over impassable routes and just taking a little diversion. Really, it won't take much away from your experience. The accommodation, as you can see, we book you in private hotels or guest houses. They're basic, they're clean, they're comfy places. They offer good food, good dinners, and our staff, such as myself, we visit these hotels every year. We make sure they are up to standard. We make sure that they offer everything that we need. We don't work really on a star rating, because a 3 stars sometimes could be worse than a guest house, or one of my favorite, the agriturismos that you will find along the route. Those people, they just earn their place in heaven with their food, with the accommodation, with the welcoming, with their welcoming characters. And really, most of the times, if I go myself, I'd rather go for the agriturismo instead of a 3 star in the middle of the town. But they are all really nice. They have their quirkiness, their character, and we also choose them because of these reasons. Obviously, if you want to splash out a little bit more, you can go in our superior collection. Nicer hotels, 4-star hotels, small little villas, nice for a romantic getaway. nice if you want to, if you enjoy a little bit of luxury. Most of them place also centrally located, so it won't take away from the experience. You might need a transfer or two, but we will provide them for free. And if you prefer to stay in the towns, feel free to let us know. We will book everything that is close to the town. And if not, if we cannot do it next to the town, we will just mention it to you and say, look, would you rather go for a standard or just spend some time before dinner and then call out your accommodation for a transfer? We can just work that with you. Also, for the passport and the testimonium that you can get, much as you could do in the Camino de Santiago, this one is not as well known, but if you do walk the last 100 kilometers into Rome, you can request your testimonium. We do have a credencial that we supply you with your holiday pack, and you can just request this testimonium certificate if you finish in Rome, either in the Viterbo to Rome in the Via Francigena, or if you do the Rieti to Rome. You can request it in St. Peter's Square if you walk a little bit more than 100 kilometers, if you do 140. So it's a truly nice way to finish, going to St. Peter's Square and just walking away with your bragging rights, really, with the testimonium. There's no kind of document that you can claim if you're walking from Lucca to Siena, but you can always get your passport, your pilgrim passport, with all the different stamps, and you can just hang it on the wall, as I have done with mine. It is a really nice memento to bring back, and you just have to remember to stamp once a day to make sure that you can claim it once you get to Rome. The weather, another one of the topics that we discuss the most. Well, it is Italy. It is famous for having a really nice weather, famous for its dry weather and for its nice temperatures, but there's always a possibility of rain. You're in a walk, you will be exposed for most of the time, so it is really important to prepare, to plan ahead, and to just adapt to the weather conditions that you will have day by day. Because we are transferring your luggage, and because you can bring more luggage than you could do if you were carrying just a backpack, we will give you the chance to bring a little bit more gear than you could for a long walk if you were carrying your own luggage. So feel free to bring more technical or more specialized and more weather-orientated clothes. So, but the basics really on what to bring are just a pair of good walking shoes, good socks, a light rain jacket and sunscreen, and loads of layers. So bring a thermal layer, bring a t-shirt, bring a little fleece, and also bring a light waterproof jacket. That should see you through every single type of weather that you can encounter. Check the weather forecast the day before. This is information that you will find pretty much in every hotel reception desk, and you can simply ask the day of your arrival what the weather is going to be for the day before, and you can simply plan accordingly. But we always do recommend, because you're traveling quite lightly, pack your light rain jacket just in case there is a shower, and pack your sunscreen just in case there is unbearable heat. Obviously, try to avoid the peak months of summer, which we will see in the next slide, but always bring sunscreen just in case. We don't want anybody finishing up in the emergency rooms of a hotel. That is not the way to enjoy your holidays. As you can see, the guy there on the green, the very handsome back, that's me. As we approach Siena, with my colleagues, Aoife, with Roberta, with Andrea, we were all in the Tuscany section, and we happened to enjoy a slightly cloudy but pretty warm days in the Tuscany section. The best time to go, or the best time to book, the best time to go really, that's a big question, but I could say April, late April, May, or September, October would be probably the best times to do it and the best times to go. Best time to book, obviously, as soon as possible. You'll be getting your foot on the door first. We'll be able to book the nicest accommodation. The earlier you book, bear in mind that they are very popular destinations, not only for walkers, but also for holiday makers. So the earlier you book, the better accommodation you will get. It's just as easy as that. Because of the nature of our tours, because they are self-guided, and because they can start at any date of your choice, feel free to pick your start date. We will have to book on the basis of availability, and we will have to book everything as soon as you give us the go-ahead. So the earlier you give us the go-ahead, obviously the more chances you're going to get of getting your foot in the door and getting that extra nicer accommodation, the one with a bit of quirk, the one with a bit nicer food. As I said, we work with many different accommodations. We visit not only one in each town, we have 3 or 4 that we can truly rely on, that we know they work very well. So even if booking a month or 2 months before departure, there's surely going to be availability in the towns. But as I said, the earlier, the better. In terms of weather, as I said, May and September, or even April, October, they make for good availability because they are out of peak months. People, the general tourism could be through the summer months, June, July, and August, but these are not really as pleasant to go for a walk, as they could provide a very hot weather, exposed walks, so it might be a little bit more uncomfortable than just going a little bit earlier or later in the year. Finally, if you're planning, I hope that after this walk you are more enticed to go, and that you're looking forward to a trip in any of these beautiful walks or any of the other walks in the Via Francigena. We will offer a 10% discount for attending this webinar. Obviously, I bored you out of your minds, so you truly deserve a treat. So feel free to use it. My colleague Lisa here will just write now the code that we will use for the Via Francigena, and we will obviously apply that 10% to your trip if you're planning to go in 2017. If you feel like you want more information, and obviously I can only give you a nutshell, and we can all go into the whole of the Via Francigena. I wish we had so much time to talk about it, but we have many resources online. We have our beginner's guide, our fitness guide, we have packing guides on the Via Francigena. We also have lovely videos, which you might be able to spot a familiar face on the Via Francigena, on the San Miniato to Siena, which you can request. Obviously, if you want to see a lot of the landscape and a lot of the little towns and the places that you will go through, and just to make your mouth water just a little bit more about going into one of these trails. So the last thing I have to say is get planning. As I said, the earlier you plan, the better your trip will go. It'll give us time to correct any mistakes, to add any extras, to talk about any different alternatives that you might want to explore. So feel free to contact us on info@CaminoWays.com. You can also visit our blog for many aspects of the Via Francigena, such as the best cycles, the best places for food, spending 24 hours on a given town. We have spent and invested a lot of time and effort, a lot of research on these blogs. They're very unique. They have been, is one thing Lisa is going to take great pride of. We've been awarded finalists of the Blog Awards of 2017, and our hats off to them. And we're also on Facebook, Twitter. We have free ebooks, and if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to our newsletter. You'll find loads of information, loads of deals, loads of different information about festivals and new things coming up and things that you can do in it, and they are updated pretty much once a month or even more. So keep an eye out for that, and it will help you plan your next trip if you're interested. With this, we have reached the end of our webinar. I just want to thank you so much, everybody, for attending. It was really, really great to see people from Kauai, from South Africa, from Cape Town, from Dario. I want to say a big, big thank you to you for attending pretty much a webinar about your backyard. I have dealt a lot with you over the last couple of weeks. It's nice to see that. Nice to see the faces as well. The people from Texas, from all over the world. We even have a poor devil that woke up at 5 a.m. to watch my face. So we're going to give a big thumbs up to you, the people from Philippines as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. We're going to go through the main questions now. So we're going to just get here to the side, and we're going to read the most popular questions and just anything that has not been answered for you by our colleagues. I'll try my best to answer to all your questions. So we'll go with the first one. Lisa? It's actually a pretty warm Dublin today. It's one side you don't see every day.
So I think a lot of people were wondering, is the walk more difficult than the Camino? So how can we compare it to Sarri, Santiago, Luca to Siena?
That's a really good question. In terms of difficulty, we're going to go really one by one. So Luca to Siena, pretty easy until you get to the towns, and when you get out of the towns. Your hilltop towns, you're fortified, you're up in the mountains, you were just there for defensive reasons, and you're there pretty much to kill your legs at the beginning and at the end of the walk. But then it gets really, really mild. It is a really, really rolling hill landscape. The terrain is good. It's very, very well developed. Not a problem at all. It's just that little peak at the very beginning and at the very end of the day. You will be rewarded with very, very nice views, and as you're walking towards them, that really will encourage you a little bit, and as you're walking out of it, you will stop to take loads of pictures. So you won't really feel it. It won't really be too traumatizing. But it is hard to get in and out of the town. The rest of the walk, it's just fine. It could be compared to the last days of the Camino. So from Arzúa to Melide for those of you, from Arzúa to Santiago for those of you who have walked Sarri to Santiago, which were quite a lot, as we could see from the chat. It could compare to that. Rolling hills, big hilltop towns. The Cinque Terre, for example, has a really, really big mix. And if you want to go easy on yourself, you can. If you want to go Ironman, you can do it. I have done it a bit more than I could chew, as it turned out, just to find out that the Via dell'Amore, the only easy path that there was closed because of rock falling into the path. So after 28 kilometers, to find out you have to do another 10 instead of 2 was a bit of a desperate situation. But it's one that you can really cut short of, and please don't be as full as me. Just take it easy. It makes for a much more enjoyable day. I could really not move the day after. In the Viterbo to Rome, that is probably the easiest one of them all. And given that you finish in Rome, it might be more appealing. If you're looking for an easier walk, with the added value of finishing in Rome, with the added value of also being able to visit Rome and to being able to claim your testimonium. It is easier than Luca to Siena. It's very, very comparable to the last section of the Camino, or like the Portuguese way or the French way. It doesn't have excessively high hills, excessively high mountains. And the views that you get from Viterbo and Sutri, they're also very, very nice. Finally, the one in the St.Francis Way, definitely the toughest. Not a very well-developed trail. It's more of a hardcore grand route trail. The ones that you would find in Corsica or that you could find in